but so far everything's been great. We've had some, some old friends from the WWE donate or retweet, and a lot of support in one way or another. So it's been going well. We just plug away at it every day, and hopefully after the show here, this will help publicize it some more. And it is something you have to work on pretty much every day, though. I find if I don't spend a few hours on it every day, it's something you got to keep out there. So it also, it takes a lot of work to keep on it too. It's definitely not like we're sitting here just like collecting money. Every single cent of this goes towards his health in one way or another. We're definitely not going on vacations or buying new cars or anything like that. Everything is just, a lot of it is the plan of repaying some of the bills we have already, and then just planning the surgery for when we can do it, and afford it, which, if we get this together hard enough, we should be able to have the majority of that covered, I hope. I have to finish getting exact quotations on the final pricing and everything. But when we picked, $50,000 for the total, that was to include, GoFundMe takes like 8%, I believe. They take money off the top, and then we needed to add on, in general, what it takes to get by every month. And I train people. It's not like I don't work. I also train people and do some modeling work, but for, stuff like that, you have to be able to arrange it. We usually travel so much. It's not like I have a job in a gym. Like I usually, because I've been in magazines, I've been, for fitness modeling and bodybuilding, I can arrange like training sessions with people like in cities that I go to, just for the novelty of them having a former Ms. Olympia contestant train them. So that's how I make some extra money on trips that we do and that sort of thing too. But so far I haven't had the ability to do a stable job because we're moving around a lot. But it all takes a lot of work and a lot of planning. It makes me nervous the longer we wait on getting the surgery done. Like we could have had it done the end of July. They had a date open, but there's just no way to be able to make that happen. But that was one date we could have get it done, and sometimes I wish we had, because he's in so much pain some days, but we just weren't in the position to get it done. When I was checking on the insurance and possibilities, it just became clear that wasn't going to work. So then the next step was planning to have enough money together to pay for the surgery, because a lot of times when it's out of pocket, things have to be paid up front and be paid first. So yeah, it even took a while to get things together to even start the GoFundMe. It took a lot of research, and of course, Scott Hall did a GoFundMe for his hip surgery. So he was actually kind enough to answer a lot of questions that I asked him, and find out how to do it. And some people have mentioned a lot of stuff. Like I know he offered perks. Like we don't offer like perks on it, because actually what happens, like, if you offer, like, say, a phone call for a certain length of, hold on. She's bashing stuff around in the, where are you cooking over there? She's starting to cook. We better get Sabu on the phone pretty soon. But, yeah, like some people, I think in some ways, like, the GoFundMe's not going quite as quickly, as I would like, to be honest. But, I think it's because of, people, like, the perks sort of thing, like,
yeah.
Like, signed 8x10s or a phone call for a certain donation. And I know that really, I think that really complicated some things for Scott Hall. I read up on the site, and some people were mad they still hadn't got their photos or their phone call, or they got Scott called and they got a voicemail. So it actually sounds like that created like a massive headache for him, which who wants that when they're sick and trying to get over surgery? So like when I saw that, I was like, wow. But the main thing is, that pushes everything into being taxable, which is another, like the way apparently the GoFundMe looks at that is like, oh, well, theoretically you're selling something.
Right.
And so it pushes it into a taxable bracket. Like, and we're trying to avoid that. We put enough there to cover surgery and, a few months of just getting by, and then hopefully by that time I'll have a lot more of my own work established. Like, hopefully I think we'll be staying more in Georgia. We've been traveling between Michigan and Georgia, and I have my place in Georgia, so now we're situated more out of my place. Because we were moving around so much, it was really hard for me to do anything steady. But there'll be a quieter space of time where I'll be here, so it'll be a little easier for me to do something a little more,
right?
A little more day-to-day sort of work. But yeah, so that's the thing with the perks. We have a new website coming up, and Sabu sells, and we both sell 8x10s. He has a DVD it's called Sabu, Homicidal Beginnings. This is there's tons of people out there selling Sabu's work, and I don't think a lot of fans realize it, but he doesn't get any money from that. He may have got, for an interview, like the shoot interviews, he'll get paid a certain amount of that, but he's not getting royalties or percentage. Like all these DVDs out of Sabu's matches, like he's not getting anything from that. I think there's some 300 match compilation or some fan was talking about. Like, I don't think fans realize how little money a lot of wrestlers are making off the DVDs of the matches that people are selling of them. Like, he's not getting that. But, this is a DVD that he chose 50 matches himself, and he's getting 100% of that. So we'd really like to, push or put over some of his own merchandise. Plus, he has his own T-shirt. It's a kind of a comic book character, Sabu, or there's a Sabu Genie T-shirt. And we do these to order. He gets 100% of that too. Pro Wrestling Tees has a lot of his T-shirts. I believe they're going to have a new one out for him shortly. They just sent us a design the other day, and they give a pretty decent percentage of what they sell for him. But it's always nice to get 100%, right? So he's got a T-shirt available for that and his own DVD, like I was saying, and 8x10s. He sells souvenir items. Like the other night, actually, when he had his match at Ian Rotten's promotion, of course, like his finish is the Arabian face buster through a table. And at the end, Ian thought it'd be a cool idea to sell pieces of the table. So, he sold a bunch of pieces of the table. He broke Shane Mercer through. We actually collected that at the end of the night, and he said to go ahead and take it. I think a lot of times promoters sell pieces of tables. Like, you cannot believe some of the stuff out there on eBay, like, that people sell Sabu stuff, and sometimes I'm telling you, it's nothing Sabu ever owned. There's a whole bunch of, wrestling pants of supposedly his on eBay, like, and they're not even his, but guaranteed if you contact him or contact me, you are going to get a legitimate item from Sabu, 100%. And towards the surgery, we actually took, pieces of the table home. Ian suggested, go ahead and take it. So we're actually going to be selling, if people want to get that souvenir pieces of a table, because I'm surprising how many pieces of tables that people buy that he's busted through. We've had fans show up at the end of the night after a match with a piece of the table that they want him to sign. And, he's always happy to sign anything for fans. He's he takes everybody, like, appreciates all his fans and takes everybody, really seriously and takes his work seriously, which is, again, why we want to get his hip fixed so he can perform the way he wants to perform for his fans.
Right.
But, so let's see if we can get him. Do you want to chat, Sabu?
Well, I'm going to throw it over to our site owner, Stevie J. He wanted to ask a few questions and say something as well.
Okay.
Well, the first thing I wanted to say is...
go ahead.
I just wanted to say that no perks are necessary as far as being a fan of Sabu's goes, because I got the best perk of all in April at Eddie Dean's Ranch when unexpectedly in the middle of a show we were going to get a presentation for Terry Funk, and then out came Mick Foley, and I thought that was going to be the highlight of the night, and then out came Sabu. So I already got the best perk of all, and that's why we're happy to support this campaign, because in a night where I thought I was only going to see Terry Funk, I saw Mick Foley and Sabu as well. So I wanted to thank you both for that, and I wondered if that was the genesis of the GoFundMe idea, was the fans' reaction to Sabu that night in Dallas.